Thank you all so much for joining this webinar today. This webinar is being co-hosted by Zoho Sprints and Zoho Cliq, where we're going to be talking about contextual communication and collaboration. I'm joined by my colleague Manasa from the marketing team of Zoho Cliq. Hi, Manasa.
Hi, Prateek. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining this webinar today. I hope we will be able to give you a good idea of what this integration has to offer. So the agenda today is pretty interesting. We will start with what Zoho Cliq is. We will walk you through how Cliq helps you in communicating contextually and also move on to understand the different project management challenges that are out there. Prateek here will then walk us through how Zoho Sprints addresses all these different challenges and how the integration in particular facilitates contextual collaboration and communication. We will then be diving deep into the integration, how to set it up, how to use it, and we'll then have a quick demo of what you can do with the integration from Sprints and what you can do with this integration in Cliq as well. So Zoho Cliq is a team communication software that is built exclusively for your internal communications, right? Cliq not only facilitates internal communication, but also helps you collaborate and coordinate effectively. So if you see here, with communication, you have direct messaging, you have audio video calls to make sure you stay in touch with your coworkers. Again, collaboration is something that is powered by communication. So you need to have channels or a space where you're basically able to talk to a group of people, discuss about different topics. You want to discuss about your project with a specific audience. So you have channels for that. You have audio video group calls and screen sharing to make sure you can collaborate not only via messaging, but also via other different modes of communication. Now, it is also important that you have to stay updated and keep track of your schedule, your tasks, and all the other workplace applications that you might be using day in and out, right? So with your communication platform in place, and with you and your team spending almost a majority of your work hours trying to communicate, trying to stay in touch and keep everybody updated, you need to make sure that your communication software makes it all the more easier and brings all the information that you require to access all your workday applications. So with reminders, it also acts as an inbuilt task management system. So if you're sending a message and if you want to make sure you need to follow up, say 3 hours later, you can quickly set a reminder to that message. And coordination does not just stop with reminders or integrated calendar events. You should also be able to connect and stay in touch with all the different business applications that you use every single day. So this is where integrations come into picture. And your team communication software should connect with all the wide variety of applications that necessarily tackle your workplace challenges and your organizational workplace requirements. So one such common challenge that we all face every day is project management and project communication. Prateek here will then throw some light on the different project management challenges that teams face commonly and how integrations between apps like Cliq and Sprints helps team tackle these challenges. Over to you, Prateek.
Thanks, Manasa. And indeed, thanks to tools like Zoho Cliq, we don't feel disconnected anymore and we're able to virtually communicate and collaborate with distributed teams. In the context of project management, what I wanted to discuss in this webinar was about how the way we work is constantly changing, and it is changing fast. In the last 2 decades, there have emerged several methodologies that guide teams to organize their work. From frameworks like Scrum, which originally became popular for software development, is now emerging as a popular project management methodology across different industries. While waterfall still remains relevant in a few industries, Kanban continues to remain the favorite of most project managers. Now, a successful and an effective agile team is one that has the right people, the right processes, and the right tools. If you have the right tools and the right people, but no process or framework to guide your work, then you might end up with a disorganized team. We need to strive and continuously improve to reach the Kaizen state where all our people, tools, and processes are aligned. To help you with the right tools, we at Zoho have built several productivity and collaboration tools. You have Zoho Projects for traditional project management. You have Zoho Sprints for agile project management that is based on the Scrum Framework. We have Zoho Cliq, which most of you are familiar with and you're using it in your organization right now to communicate and collaborate with your teams. You have office productivity apps like Zoho Writer, Zoho Sheet, Zoho Show, and a document management system like Zoho WorkDrive. And we hope you're able to make use of the tools that we at Zoho have built to communicate and collaborate with your distributed teams. A research conducted by Project Management Institute, PMI, found that ineffective communication was the main contributor to project failures. Despite having the technology to collaborate with distributed teams, despite having multiple face to face conversations and interactions, poor communication continues to remain the main cause of project failures. Some of the ramifications of poor communication is that team members don't feel aligned with project goals. There's a lack of transparency and accountability, which in turn creates an environment where members don't feel motivated enough. This results in project failing or projects getting delayed and they're overrun by their schedule or their budget. To help teams be more agile and to embrace change, we at Zoho Sprints have built a Scrum tool which helps you manage your agile project. At the heart of Scrum is a sprint, which is a time box of 2 weeks or a month, during which a potentially shippable product is created. A new sprint starts immediately after the conclusion of a previous sprint, and in general, the entire framework consists of various ceremonies like a sprint planning meeting, where you and your team get together and decide which work items get added to your next sprint. You have a daily scrum meeting during which you discuss feedback on how if you're facing any challenges in your day-to-day activities. And then you have ceremonies like the sprint review and the sprint retrospective meeting, where you discuss with your team in general about the framework and the objectives that you had set out initially. Now, most of you are aware of Zoho Sprints. In this webinar, we are focused at how Zoho Sprints integrates with Zoho Cliq and helps us achieve some of the pillars of the main values that Scrum propagates. For instance, there are values like transparency, which Scrum encourages, saying every team member should have visibility into significant aspects of the process as well as the outcome. And then you have the pillar of inspection, wherein you, as I mentioned, you have timely review meetings and retrospective meetings to measure your sprint goal and detect undesirable variances. And then you have adaptation in general, wherein you evaluate with your team if the process that you're following is right, if there's anything new that you have to do. So there's a constant process of transparency, inspection, and adaptation. And we at Zoho realized this, and to help teams be more effective, we realized that communication needs to be contextual. And that motivated us to build the integration between Zoho Sprints and Zoho Cliq. When we understand the relationship between various tasks with its context, it improves communication, it improves transparency, and it improves accountability. Through contextual discussions, it becomes easy to identify and fix problems before they impact the results of the project. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Zoho Sprints, I'm going to be giving you a brief walkthrough of what Zoho Sprints is about. So, as I had mentioned, the Scrum framework has two main components. One, which is your project backlog, which serves as a repository where you add all your work items, your user stories, your tasks, and your bugs. And then you have your sprint backlog, where in your sprint planning meeting, you get together with your team and you decide which work items do you want to plan for your upcoming sprint. Once you start your sprint, you have the Scrum board, which helps you keep track of the overall progress of your sprint. Now you get various reports like a sprint dashboard where you can measure overall progress and get a sense of how your sprint is progressing across different members. If you're new to Zoho Sprints and if you're working for a product development team, and let's say you're building a new product, we have a release management module here where you can customize your release board with different stages. Now, in a demo project that you see in front of you, I've created various release stages like market research, business analysis, user acceptance testing, and the last stage, which is released. And here we are trying to build various MVPs. MVP stands for minimum viable product. And those who are practicing Scrum and those who are product managers are already familiar with this. You try to build various iterations of your product, and in the process of your iteration, you hope to keep getting better and build products in a way that your customers would love. Now, in Zoho Sprints, you have this release board module where you'll be able to dive deep into a particular release and see all the work items that are mapped across sprints and across your product backlog. Now, we also integrate with repository management tools like GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab. You'll not only be able to see the context of your work items, but you'll also be able to see the commits and the pull requests that your developers associate with these work items. What you see in front of you is a Zoho Cliq chat bar. So we decided that while teams and while release managers and product owners are planning for the release, it is important for them to be able to have a quick conversation with their team. So for instance, if I click on the start conversation button here, it automatically creates a Cliq channel with all the release owners that are associated with this project. Now, there are several instances within Zoho Sprints where we've built the aspect of contextual communication. So one of the other aspects is, let's say you're tracking progress on your Scrum board and you have about 15 members in your Scrum team. If you'd like to quickly communicate with all your members, you can create a channel here, and this channel by default fetches all the Scrum team members that are a part of the sprint, and you can continue to have contextual communications about this particular sprint. Now, another aspect where we felt contextual communication might help is when you're creating new work items in your backlog. Say, for instance, you're tracking a particular task. So the example here in front of you is a task that is assigned to 4 users. And if you'd like to quickly get on a group chat with all of them, so here on the right, you can see that there is a start conversation Zoho Cliq chat bar that is associated here. Now, when you do that, you'll be prompted to create a new channel. And what this contextual integration does is it automatically fetches the name of the task or a bug. In this case, it is a bug. So it automatically fetches the name and gives it to the channel. And it also fetches all the assignees. So here I see Mark, Yash, Omar, and Sandra are the owners of this particular bug. All the participants are added here by default. And when I click on create, all 5 of us are now present here. So the 4 assignees, including me, who initiated this chat, where I can now tag my teammates and contextually discuss about the best way to resolve this bug. So to summarize, this integration was built keeping in mind several aspects where product development teams, Scrum teams would be required to instantly communicate. It could be perhaps during your next sprint planning meeting, or it could be on your Scrum board. So at every instance possible, we have tried to facilitate this collaboration by the Zoho Cliq chat bar. And if you're someone who's very active on Click, we've built something called as the Sprints bot. And I'll let Manasa walk you through this Zoho Sprints bot in Zoho Click. Over to you, Manasa.
Thank you so much, Prateek, for that interesting and detailed walkthrough. I'm pretty sure by now you're all very clear on the challenges this integration is trying to address. So I will be walking you through what your capabilities are and what you can achieve through the integration in Click, right, from the Click perspective. So let me just quickly go right ahead and share my screen. The integration comes equipped with a powerful Sprints bot, which acts like your virtual Scrum assistant. So the bot is here to help you and your team stay on track with all your sprint work items. And in addition to this, to make sure your project's process is transparent and it is inspected periodically, you have channels that can be mapped to the project. So this makes sure that the project's progress is completely transparent and everybody is in the know of what is going on at any given point of time. So let me jump right into the steps that are necessary for the installation and the setup. So installation is pretty simple. The integration is available in Zoho Marketplace. I'll be showing you how to install it from the marketplace now. This is a demo account that I have here where I'll walk you through all the integration installation steps. So the integration is available in Zoho Marketplace. Now to get to the marketplace, you just have to go to your Click account and you have to hover to your top navigation bar. So over here, you can see that there is an extensions icon present. Just click on the extensions icon and you land on the marketplace. So alternatively, you can just directly access marketplace.zoho.com and you can select Click. So if you are accessing Marketplace directly, then you will have to choose Click here as an option. And if you want to navigate to the marketplace from within Click, that is possible as well. So you just go to the marketplace, you look for the sprints integration in the marketplace. So I'm just typing in sprints and you can see that the Zoho sprints integration pops up. All right, so you just have to land on the overview page. This will just talk about what the integration has to offer and everything. To install it, just simply click on the install button. All right, and you just have to agree to the terms and your extension will be installed. So the same process happens when you access marketplace.zoho.com directly. Now the extension can be installed for the entire organization, and alternatively, if you have teams and if you want to install it for a specific team, you can do that as well. I'm choosing to install this integration for the entire organization now, so I'll just go ahead and install it. Perfect. So the integration is installed successfully now, and you just go back to Click and you can see that you have a sprints bot here, which sends a welcome message directly to you. So the bot is here to help you get started with the first step and also throughout your course of the project. So it is your virtual assistant in always, literally. So the first step is to configure your team, right? So to configure your team, it's pretty simple. The bot sends you a welcome message. You just have to click on the configure team button here in this message and just grant access to the bot to access your authentication. It requires your permission. So once that is done, the bot will fetch the list of teams that you have in Zoho Sprints. So all your teams will be listed over here. Right now I have only one team, so I'm just clicking on the team and I'm clicking on configure. And once it is successfully configured, the next step in setting up is for the bot to configure alerts and for the bot to be able to bring in alerts as and when required. So all you have to do is click on the proceed button here, right? This will show a pop-up dialog box where you will be required to give your permission for generating an authorization token. So this authorization token is the one with which the webhook will be created and will essentially work, and the bot can bring you updates and alerts, right? So I'm just going to grant access to get my authorization token and create a webhook. So once the webhook has been successfully created, keep in mind that this is just a one-time process that you have to do during setup, right? So once it is generated successfully, the bot then takes you on a quick tour of what the integration has to offer and what can be done. So this is pretty much the entire setting up process that you have to do. So all this is just a one-time process. So after this is mapping my projects that I have on sprints with Cliq. So I have a project which is about an e-learning library, an online library that I'm building. And I want to associate all the sprints that are running in this project with a specific channel that I use to collaborate with my team to talk about this project, right? So this will make sure that once it is mapped, the bot can then directly start posting notifications, alerts, and updates about whatever goes on in the project. The bot will directly start posting all the notifications directly in the channel. So it's as simple as that, right? So let's move on to understand how exactly the bot can help us with all these different updates and what are the other different options the bot has to offer. So I have my sprints bot here, and as you can see, the bot sends an everyday reminder to me about a specific meeting that I have to attend. So if I want to directly attend the meeting and I want the link, the bot will just present me with the link. I can just click on this link and directly start joining the meeting and start giving my updates, right? So let's start with the bot's different possibilities, capabilities, and all the different actions that the bot has to offer. So if you see in the bot's chat window at the bottom, we have 4 different menu actions. So these are what we call as quick actions that the bot can do for us, right? So let's start with the first action, which is fetching items. Now the bot can fetch a list of different work items that are available in the sprint that it is mapped to. So in the sprint and in the specific project that the bot is mapped to, right? So you can choose the project that you're a part of. So I'm going to choose the Zilker Airlines project, and the bot requires my permission. So I'm going to choose a specific sprint in this case. So I'm going to say sprint 2, and I'm not going to go about anything in particular. I want to see all the different work items that are available. So let me just click on the fetch item option. So it shows that there are no items for this specific criteria, which means that probably this sprint does not have any work items as of now, or probably this sprint has no backlogs or any related work items. So let's try fetching work items for a different project. So let's go to the e-learning library project again, and I want to get information about the online course management sprint, and I want the item status. I don't have anything in particular. Again, let me just quickly fetch items. So you can see that there are a list of different work items that are available in this particular project. And if you want to view more details about each of these work items, then you just have to click on this details button here, and you can directly head over to the work item. So this here is a story that is associated with this specific sprint. If you want to get more details, you can go to this story directly from the link provided. Otherwise, if you want to quickly edit it or add logas, you can do all of that from this specific window itself. So you get a nice little form, and you can fill in your logas, you can edit it to add more information based on a specific conversation that you might be having, and things like that. So this is essentially how you can use a quick action to fetch details about a project, about a specific task that you might be working on, right? The next option is adding a meeting. If you want to instantly add a meeting, see, your sprint will be running for a specific period of time, and you will have a specific time in which you meet with your team and you go over all the different updates that have been done, all the different things that are yet to be done, and things like that. But say you want to run a meeting in a sudden, and you want to schedule it immediately, right? So you can just directly click on the add meeting option that from the sprints bot, and quickly use this option to schedule a meeting. So you don't have to cut away or branch away from the conversation that you're having. All you have to just do is open the sprints bots chat window and add the meeting directly from the sprints bots chat window here. So this is another great alternative where you don't have to break away from a conversation. And the third option that comes as a quick action is adding a work item. So there are different ways in which the bot allows you to add a work item or keep track of a work item. So the first way is giving you a quick action. Say you're having a discussion and you want to, quickly take a note of it and then go back later to add more details to this specific work item. So you just head over to the add item option in your sprint spot chat window. You choose your project, you choose the sprint that you're working on, you give your item name. So I'm just going to say add more video templates, and I'm going to leave the description box free. I'm going to assign it to Prateek, and the priority is going to be medium. So the item type is a task, and the start date and the due date will also be provided. So once that is done, just click on the add item option, and the sprints bot adds this work item successfully to the project and gives you the link to the task as well. So at any given point of time, if you want to go back and revisit this task item, you can just use this link, or you can use the fetch items option here to fetch the list of recently added option that you have added. Now, one more area in which the bot comes really handy is, you can see that as soon as I added this task and assigned it to Pratik, he will also be notified about this task. So the bot, so he's going to the task and making some changes based on the necessary details that the task requires, updating the date of the task item, and updating all the different necessary points, the estimation points, adding a description, leaving a comment, and things like that. So as and when he is updating the task, the bot also notifies me about the task that is being updated. So this makes it all the more easier to know what is happening in the project and to make sure who is updating what. And in case you don't want to be bothered about it at any given time, you can also mute these notifications and configure these as well. It is completely configurable, but it comes in essentially handy when you're having a discussion, and it comes in and it makes it all the more easier when you just have to look up a piece of information, and you don't have to switch between tabs or shuffle between different tabs to get a single piece of information that you require. So the final option that is available in the Sprints bot as a quick action is the configure option. Like I already said, the bot also comes is completely configurable. So if you feel that the notifications have to be muted, or if you feel that you need to disable notifications for a certain scenario, you can very well do that. So you can just right now the bot has been mapped to the specific projects channel that we are working on, right? So if you want to map more projects with different channels, you can do that. And if you want to view or modify the existing channel with which the bot has been mapped, then you can modify that too. So for example, if you can see, the bot is currently mapped the project, which is the Zilker Airlines mobile app project, and it is mapped with the Zilker Airlines mobile channel. So the bot will essentially post all the updates that happen in this specific project and bring all the updates to the Zilker Airlines mobile channel. So if you want to modify this, you can modify it. If you want to unmap it, you can unmap that as well. So I'm not going to do anything right now. The bot has been modified, and the bot has already been posting a lot of different updates in my projects channel here. I'm going to walk you through all the different areas where the bot will send in notifications. So the first step, once you've connected your bot and channel, is the bot picks up all the updates that are going on in the respective project and posts them based on the update. So say for example, you go to the project here, right? I have my project here, which is the Zilker mobile app project, and I'm going to go ahead and add a bug as a backlog. So let me just use this global add option, and I'm going to add an item to this project. So the item name, I'm just going to say issue in instant notifications. So this is going to be added to a backlog, and I'm going to assign it to Pratik. And the item type is bug, right? So I'm not going to add any priority. I'm just going to leave it as a none. So let me just click on create. So I've added this bug, and let's see if the bot notifies us. So Pratik side by side has also added a specific work item to this project, right? So this work item has been left unassigned. So whenever there is an unassigned work item that is being added, the Sprints bot immediately notifies the channel, and the bot says this particular alert and posts this with a specific message. which is the pickup item option. So whenever there is an unassigned work item and you're working in a channel and you see that this work item is associated to the work that you're doing, or you have the ability to take this up, you have some amount of time left, so you can instantly pick up this work item and the bot immediately updates in the channel then and there. And simultaneously you can also see that the sprints bot also updated the channel with the work item that I have added, right? So I added a work item, which is I added a bug as a backlog to my project, and I can directly go to the specific bug and I can see more details about it. So this was what I added and I assigned it to Prateek. And this is the way in which the bot instantly notifies you. So you can also see that whenever there is a new work item that has been created, or whenever there is an update in a existing work item, say for example you can see that there is a work item that was just created and it has been updated. So Pratik just updated it with the date of the work item. It got updated and everybody who is involved in the channel gets to know about it, because whenever there is an extension in, say, a work item's due date or a deadline, it is important to be aware of all these small minor updates, because you might as well put your time into working on something rather than keeping up with all the different updates. You don't have to switch between apps. The bot is here to bring you all the notifications right when you're having a discussion. So this makes it all the more easier for you to keep up with the different updates that are going on in the project. And yet another way in which the bot can also keep track of different updates or work items are when you can add a task or a bug. So I'm just going to show you how you can add a task to a specific project. So I'm going to say work on fixing pricing for premium members. I'm going to add this for the sprint payment gateway, and I'm going to assign it to myself and I'm going to assign it to Prateek as well. So the item type is of the type task. It is of high priority. I'm not going to add the start date and end date. I'm just going to leave that empty, and let me just go ahead and click on create. So I've added that. The bot will again go right ahead and send me an update with the task that I've been added or I've been assigned with, and the bot will also post an update directly in the channel with a new task item that has been updated in the specific project, right? So there are a number of different scenarios and cases in which the channel will be alerted whenever there is a update that goes inside the project. And the bot will also personally notify you whenever there is a work item that has been assigned to you, whenever there is a comment that has been updated in a work item that you are assigned with. There are comments added in the sprint. There are comments added in the log hours, new log hours being added, updated, and meetings being created. You also get meeting reminders directly posted in the sprints bot. So it makes it all the more easier for you to keep track of all the project updates, all the different changes that are going on in the project, while still being able to catch up with your colleagues, having a discussion. Say you're posting a lot of messages and you take a decision then and there, you have a conversation, there are impromptu decisions that get made. So say when you have a decision like, so say for example we decide to show discounted prices first, and everybody feels that this is a good idea and you want to make sure this gets updated in your project, right? So you can very well go to the message and you can make this message actionable by adding this message as a task or a bug or a work item to be specific for your specific project. So just hover on the message and you can see the more option, which will open up the different message actions that are available for the message. So I want to add this message as a work item, right? So I want to add this message as a work item, which is essentially for the project Zilker Airlines mobile app, and I want to associate it with the payment gateway sprint, and I want to leave this as a story. So I just want to quickly add the task, right? So you can see that once it has been added successfully, the work item gets created. And if you want to go in and if you want to add more information about this, you can go to the specific work item and add in more details. But one important point to note when you convert a message into a work item is, if you open this specific work item, you see that in the description, by default, the message unique link gets added. So this is the message unique link. So I'm just going to copy this and show you how this link will act. I'm going to paste it in my browser. And if you're logged in to Cliq, you will be automatically, and if you're a part of the channel, you will be automatically redirected to the message that we're talking about. So this is the message that we were talking about, right? So this is how the message link will come into picture. Say somebody else gets to see this task. They don't know the context behind it. They see that this issue or this message or this work item was created from a Cliq message, and they need to know more information about this. They need more background details about this. So to do that, they just go to this link. Provided they are a part of the channel, they will have full access to the conversation, and they will be able to understand probably why this decision was made, why this message was converted into an actionable work item. So this is how you can use this integration to collaborate contextually with sprints and Cliq and manage your projects very easily.
Thank you, Manasa, for that detailed walkthrough of how our users can configure the Zoho Sprints bot in Zoho Cliq. Thank you all once again for attending this webinar. We hope this integration will facilitate contextual communication and collaboration in your organization. Manasa, if someone wants to learn more about Zoho Sprints or Zoho Cliq, where should they get started if someone's new?
All right, so if you want to learn more about Zoho Sprints, you can access our website, zoho.com/sprints. You have a lot of information about sprints, and if you want to reach out to somebody from the sprints team, you can email support@zohosprints.com. Our support team will reach out to you with all the information that you need, and you can also follow sprints on Twitter. So we are available at Zoho Sprints. That is our Twitter handle. So the same goes for Cliq as well. So if you want to head over to our website, it is zoho.com/Cliq, and our support email address is support@zohocliq.com, and we are available at the Twitter handle. Our Twitter handle is Zoho Cliq. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. I hope this integration and this webinar gave you a good idea of how contextual communication and collaboration is necessary, and how this integration specifically addresses all the different challenges. Thank you so much again. So if you have any questions, do reach out to us through our support emails, and we'll be here to help you out.